Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyaptadehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Gukarastvandhakaro Vai. It sounds like a funeral, okay? Yeah. To be absolutely frank with you, yeah. You've had a good night's sleep, and I'm sure you have tucked in the breakfast, so there is no reason to sound like this. Gukarastvandhakaro vai. Yeah, see, you are capable of this. Rukarastan-nivartakaha andhakara-nirodhitvat Gururityabhidhiyate. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Yato vacho nivartante Apraapya manasa saha Anandam Brahmano Vidvan Na bibheti kutascha neti Etagum havavana tapati Kimaham sadhuna karavam Kimaham papamakarabamiti. We have seen, we've covered quite a lot of ground to get to the place of assimilating the meaning of this mantra. We have looked at the conquer mentality, which is very, very inimical to this understanding. Because we are talking about the nature, the inalienable nature, the unchanging nature of the one who conquers, the one who kills, the one who catches, the one who is wanting to know. The knower and the known being one and the same, we have a little bit of a problem here. And that is exactly why this mantra is needing an in-depth look and understanding. That is exactly why. Because that which is to be known, I. And who is the knower? I. Same thing. And so here is the rub here. And how do I know myself? And what is this self? The self that is not the body, that is completely unconnected to this body, has nothing to do with this mind, and has nothing to do with the senses. And yet, even though we say unconnected, there seems to be a connection. A one-sided, partial connection. Because everything is I. So the body cannot be not I. In fact, there is no such thing called not I. The difference between I and not I, which is the, what is that called, ABC of Vedanta, is in fact just Vedanta baby talk. Gu, gu, ga, ga. That is all it is. I and not I, dvau hi padarthau, asmin jagati. In this world there are two kinds of things. One is I, one is not I. This is baby talk. Why is this baby talk? Especially for people who've been coming here regularly, this is definitely baby talk because it is just a stepping, it's just a diving board. You step off of that. Because when you start looking at I, and then that I is different from not I, body not I, mind not I, senses not I, jagat not I, house, not I, spouse, not I, mouse, not I. You keep going like this. Then you say, what are you studying? Advaita, non-duality. Arey, is this duality right now in your right in your talk? There is duality. As soon as you've made the distinction between I and not I, what is this? You are dealing in duality. There's no doubt about that. It's all duality only. That separation is important as a very is important as a beginning point. Why is it important? Because the body, the mind, and the senses are hopelessly enmeshed in this equation called I. So this is like a separate and extricate function. This is what one does in the beginning. This is just a provisional methodology. And you see this in ātma-bodha, tattva-bodha, all these early texts of Vedanta. This is one. Somewhere they have to start. Otherwise, if you keep saying, I'm not the body, then whose body is it, okay? I don't want to take care of your body. You should take care of it. You can't expect somebody else to take care of your body. They don't know when it hurts, when it is in pain, when it is hungry. You can't expect the other person to take care of your mind either. Even though people do that in friendship, in marriage, etc. People do that. You must be able to read my mind. Why? How? That's the expectation of the significant other. You must know what I want. How will I know what I want when you yourself don't know what you want? But this is how it is. There is a certain enmeshment. There is a certain kind of a confusion. Recall what we talked about earlier, the whole rope snake issue. The rope is confused for the snake. There seems to be a certain fusion there between the fear and the perception. The perception becomes a fearful perception because there is two things that should not be joined have joined together. That is the problem. That is exactly the problem here. And so in the beginning, the kindergarten of Vedanta starts with aham and idam. Aham means what? I. Idam? This. So we have two categories of things. This is a provisional separation just to be able to breathe and look at it. and identify and delineate the I in and through the body-mind sense complex. That is, it's just a pedagogical step. So there are things that are called idam shabda gochara. Idam shabda gochara means that which is objectified. By the word this table, this microphone, these chairs, this body, this mind, anything that is used, where you use the word this, is separate from I. So many this, so many that, and only one I. This is how in the beginning we have to make this separation. But we cannot continue with the separation. Why? What will happen if you continue with the separation? Two problems. One is that of a permanent dvaita, permanent duality. Then Advaita or non-duality will just be a lip service, because there is still I and not I, that initial perceptual duality can never ever be cognitively resolved. This is the problem. Then in addition there is another problem, because as long as this duality continues, there is no moksha. Moksha and duality do not go together ever. There is no moksha possible. How is it possible? When we saw ut aram antaram kurute athatasya bhayam bhavati. When there is even the slightest difference between myself and another, we saw that yesterday, then the Upanishad says fear ensues. This is the cause of fear. The cause of fear is duality, so then there is no moksha possible. These are the problems with this continuing this separation. Another problem is that one is in a place of permanent dissociation. I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the senses. Then what are you doing? I am having an out-of-body experience as a result. This is crazy. Not at all savory here in terms of it. Not at all pertinent to our quest, to the questions that we are asking here. And so, this aham idam these two things, really speaking, they should be extremely clear. The idam can never be mixed up with aham. The aham can never be mixed up with idam, because they are two different things. Even apples and oranges, when you compare, they have many things in common. They both are fruit and they both grow in certain ways. They both have seeds. All these things we can say. But between aham and idam, there is nothing in common at all. Why? Because that which we call idam happens to be non-separate from aham. It's not a separate entity at all. Idam is aham, but aham is never idam. This is the strategic way in which to understand the connection between Atma, I, and Anatma, not I. This is how to understand. This is how to comprehend. Therefore, then we have some room to play. And what a wonderful play it is. In fact, it's all play. Play all the way. It's wonderful. Everything becomes a play if you know that which is unchanging as I. And so, the idam does not occupy the same order of reality as aham. like even my own shadow. Nobody complains, my shadow is becoming too active, help. How can you complain like that? You are the one casting the shadow. My shadow has gone rogue. Now it is following another person. It's not following me. This is not Twitter, okay? Yeah. The shadow will be always with you because you are the one casting the shadow. You are the light that is casting the shadow, and here you are the light of consciousness that is as though projecting the shadow self, where the realm of hurt, guilt, pain, sorrow is displayed. There is nothing in common between the two. Remember this always, the idam resolves into aham. Everything is aham only, there is no really speaking idam other than a shadowy, shady projection, and as though projection. As though projection. In fact, we love the word as though. Without the word as though, there is no Vedanta possible at all. So this is how that primary duality between aham and idam, I and this, subject and object, are resolved. This is how it is resolved. How? By seeing everything that we give the status of object as non-separate from the subject, and by understanding that the subject is never subject to objectification. Subject I can never be objectified. I am, and therefore everything else is. I lend my presence to everything. Don't ask how, because we have already covered this ground. That's why there are so many names and forms. Pot, hat, cat, rat. Everything comes to light in that light of awareness which is myself alone. Everything comes to light. Everything is just wonderful, great. This is how we proceed in order to be sane. Vedanta is nothing but total sanity. Anything other than Vedanta is what? You said it. You said it. Anything other than Vedanta is madness. Certifiably mad, that's all it is. Taking everything seriously and letting oneself be overwhelmed by the not I. All this is madness. But why is it permitted? It is permitted because a number of people are engaging in the madness at the same time. It's like the inmates of an asylum. They're talking to each other. One is climbing the tree, another one is just blabbering, the third one is just doing something repeatedly. Each one is in his or her own world. And then the doctors come for a daily visit. And then these fellows who are up till now doing their own thing, they huddle together and they discuss the doctors and say, something is wrong with this one. Something is wrong with that one. Look how they are keeping on poring over their notes and then looking at us funnily. See, something is wrong with them. They're all funny. That's why the madness persists, because we sanction the dysfunctionality. We sanction addictive, habitual behavior patterns in the name of society, in the name of culture, in the name of civilization, in the name of progress. We sanction the madness, individually, communally, collectively. We sanction the madness. And so the sole person who is going towards Vedanta is seen as mad. And suddenly all the people, the family people do an intervention, so to speak. What's wrong? You have such a happy life. Why you want to leave everything and go study? It's all upside down. It's all upside down. It's crazy. But just because we sanction the madness doesn't mean that it is not mad. And this resolution of this kind of an insanity, brought about by self-ignorance, is the sole purpose of Vedanta Shastra. This is where it excels. This is what it does. The aham idam mix-up is swabhavika. Swabhavika means it is natural. If one has self-ignorance, the aham, the I, and the idam, all the objects are conflated, are mixed up. It is natural. But to yearn to get out of this mix-up is equally natural. To yearn to want out of this mix-up, to resolve this mix-up, is also equally natural. That yearning is built in. It's an uncultivated desire, unlike that of that kind of a desire for cable TV and certain other things. Blue cheese. I've never understood that. Yeah. Fungus upon fungus. Okay. Yeah. Double fungus. And so like this. But some people love it. It's seen as some kind of a gourmet delicacy. These are all cultivated desires. But there are uncultivated desires, such as the desire for food, uncultivated. But blue cheese is food. Yeah, but we are talking of food in general. We are not talking of gourmet. Uncultivated desire. Desire for water to drink, uncultivated. Desire for air to breathe, uncultivated. And we find that for every uncultivated desire, right here, right now, there is a solution. The baby comes out of the mummy's tummy, and then what? Food is available immediately. Food is available. Air is available to breathe. Because the uncultivated desires have an immediacy and an urgency about them that cannot be put off. If you meet a hungry person and you tell them, you know, Swarga, heaven is full of all kinds of celestial fruits and celestial drink and celestial gourmet things. Just wait. After you drop this body, you will get all the food you want. They will get so angry, they will make you drop the body, okay, right then and there. You can't tell them that. A hungry person, again a person who cannot breathe, you cannot say, oh, there is plenty of air, don't worry. Later on you can breathe. There is no later on. Right then and there. Moksha, likewise the desire for moksha is an uncultivated desire. It is built in, one is hardwired for moksha, it is built into one's very fabric of one's being. And it cannot wait. Even though people constantly say, you know, oh, this life, the calling hasn't come. What calling? Who is going to call? Especially if you keep suppressing the calling. Who is going to call? Bhagavan will call. As though Bhagavan has no other work. It's like that story, you know, that there was one bhakta called Manda. Manda means slightly dull, and you'll see why he was called Manda. Great devotee of Lord Krishna. Flash floods came to the village. The town crier came in a big boat. Come on, waters are rising, we have to evacuate. He said, who are you? Lord Krishna himself will save me. Didn't go. The wife and the children were very concerned. Then another boat came. Again the king had sent the boat. Another boat came. Come on, evacuate. By this time he was on the roof of his house. The wife and the children abandoned him and got onto that boat. Third boat came. The king himself, the royal boat came. Come on, don't be a fool. By this time he could barely talk. Whenever he talked, it was just glub, glub, glub sounds were coming. No, Lord Krishna will save me. Died. Didn't get on any of the boats. Then because he was such a devotee, went to Vaikuntha. Saw Lord Krishna there. Was very angry, very irate. You said in the Bhagavad Gita, Name bhaktaf pranashyati. My devotee is never destroyed, and then what have you let me perish? And Lord Krishna said, now it is becoming very, very clear. What's becoming clear? Why your mom named you Manda. That is what is becoming abundantly clear. And this is what, because idiot, who sent the first boat? Who sent the second boat? Who sent the third boat? This is what it is. A life of missed boats, missed buses, missed opportunities. Opportunities come in various ways. The disgust for samsara comes. Some kind of unease with the way of living and with the way of being definitely comes. Some kind of an unease. I can't put my finger on it, but something is not right. If it hasn't come, get married. It will definitely come. It will come, it is there. One has to notice it. One has to see it. And one has to be free enough and have some grace operating over time to listen to that dis-ease, that unease. Otherwise, it's just business as usual, life as usual. And people will keep saying the calling hasn't come. Who hasn't called? Guru hasn't called. Guru is not going to call. Look in any tradition. Does the Shishya approach the Guru or does the Guru approach the Shishya? Shishya approaches. I tell you also, this is a footnote. If any Guru says, come to me, be very suspicious, okay? Run away, far away. Run far away. If any Guru says, shh, come here, I have lots to teach you, come here. Let me catch hold of you and teach you. If any Guru says that, run far away. You choose the Guru. You choose this knowledge. You have to come to the knowledge. It's not going to come to you. Why? Because it is you already. Oh, but I don't know. Aha, okay, then come. That's what it takes. It has to be chosen by you. You can't have the family people choose for you. You have to choose. It's an individual pursuit. And what is this pursuit? Of resolving this mix-up between the aham and the idam is the individual pursuit. Because what is there to resolve is ignorance itself. It's a very, very big thing, is self-ignorance itself. Then, how to resolve it? This is what we are slowly doing, deploying various methodologies. One methodology we have already deployed, which is called, the technical term for which is Pratyagatma-siddhi. Siddhi, the delineation, the establishment of what? Pratyagatma, the innermost, quote unquote, I. Inner eye, outer eye, everything is I. But here, the discussion is from the standpoint of the body-mind complex, where there is a lot of confusion and the mix-up between aham and idam. That's why from this standpoint, we say innermost. It's not that, that you do some kind of a autopsy and you find Atma there hidden between the folds of the heart. No, not like that. Innermost, only from the standpoint of the mix-up between the body, I, mind, I, etc., etc., etc. Pratyagatma-siddhi. We have done that. Oh, I have attended all the classes. I don't think we have done that. Of course we have done that. We just haven't called it that. I'm just introducing the technical term. Just recall the question, are you here? Remember that question? If you don't remember, see me after class, okay? Yeah, we have some talking to do. Just recall that question, are you here? Yes. And what is that said yes? It's not the body that said yes. It's not the mind that said yes. It's not even the ahankara that said yes. What said yes was what acknowledges its existence, is that source of existence itself, that awareness which is non-separate from existence. This is what we have established. Pratyagatma-siddhi. This is what is called Pratyagatma-siddhi. Delineating the aham from the idam, from the standpoint of the body-mind-sense complex. So the I is that which is aware of the body, which is aware of the mind, which is aware of the senses, which is aware of everything, which is unaffected by everything, which is as though simply sitting, so to speak, in this body-mind-sense complex, like even a butterfly gracefully flitting and then alighting upon the flower. There is a nice chrysanthemum flower or a sunflower, and the butterfly just flits around and then sits on the flower. And a clever photographer takes that early morning shot of the butterfly on the flower, freezes it in time, gets a prize because it is so beautiful. But we know, as we sit and we look at the photograph of the butterfly on the flower, the butterfly is no longer on that flower. It's already flown and gone. In the same way, the Atma, which is all pervasive, which is everywhere. Atma means I. The I which is in the form of this awareness is limitless, is whole. And it is existent because I can ratify its existence. It is self-existent. And it is non-separate from the knowledge of its own existence. This is Pratyagatma. This is I. And this I is there, as though sitting, as though alighting on this body-mind-sense complex. It is there. Right now. The mistake we make is in believing the photograph to be real. So there is no outside, inside. Really speaking, it's all awareness. But right now, right here, what I am experiencing as the I is the awareness that as though obtains in this body-mind-sense complex, like even pot, space. What's inside the pot? Space. Space is inside the pot, and so pot, space. Is there such a thing called pot space? Yeah, the pot is nodding its head. Yes, Or rather, the space is nodding its head, and so the pot is also nodding its head because the space is using the pot. Yes, yes, I'm confined. Let me out. Hey Bhagavan, why have you given me this tiny pot as an this tiny pot-like existence? And then what? It needs a guru. The pot space which feels confined in the pot is looking at stuff all wrong. Totally wrong. It needs a teacher. It needs we can't say pot guru, that sounds terrible, okay? Yeah. Pot space guru. Not a spaced out guru. All right. We have to find a guru. Here. Oh, but the guru is so small. Guru is not small. Guru, in fact, the word guru means big, huge. And so, if there is a guru-shishya samvada, if there is a guru-shishya talk, then that is what we'll say. You are not pot space. That way I can also be crying. The guru is talking that I am small pot space, you are big pot space. I can even have a complex because I can say that your pot space is swallowing me up. No such thing can happen. Why? Because the guru just asks one question. What is the question? Is pot in space or is space in pot? What is in space? Everything is in space. And you are space. You just told me you are space. What is this pot space? As though pot space, as though room space. Those of us who were here when this building was being built, it was so much fun to visit it every week, to see what is going on. First, it was just a big, huge, mammoth structure with just outer walls. So you came here and you said, oh, wonder what this is. This is a huge space, building space. Then after that, the auditorium was delineated. Then you had a big building space, and inside that you had auditorium space. Then the next week I came, and there were small, small spaces. Further, little, scaffolding, a few walls, few 2x4s, all over there. Then I would ask the architects, I would ask the construction people, what is that? Oh, that's a coat closet, which is right there outside. That's a restroom. That's a little closet for extra things to put. Unused things such as chairs or tables or whatever it is. That area is the kitchen. That area is the little altar space. That area is the cafeteria for people to just come and sit. For them it was very, very clear. For the architect who had done the blueprint, it was very, very clear. But for those lay people like ourselves who would come and look at it, it just was fascinating. Suddenly, new spaces came up. And then they had all names. Closet space, restroom space, altar space, kitchen space, hall space, audio-visual room space. Everything was included in it because it was an intelligent planning. We could see that. The space suddenly got, quote unquote, divided into so many entities. Space can never be divided, as though divided. Same thing for the eye. So many names, so many forms, so many bodies, so many minds, so many incarnations. All just that one indivisible space-like, all-pervasive, sun-like, all-effulgent I. Satyam, unchanging existence, unchanging I. The I that always is and never was, that is the I. Unchanging isness, unchanging I. In and through various changes, the unchanging is just what it is I, it does not change. It as though blesses all this world of names and forms. As it were, projects them into existence, sustains that existence, and takes back that existence when that purpose of that very thing is finished. Takes back that existence means where does the existence go? The existence doesn't go, only the name and the form goes. So kamayat bahusyam praja yegeti satapo tapyat satapas taptva idagum sarvam asrijat yadidam kincha tat srishtva tadevanupravishat tadanupravishya satchatyacha bhavat. Same Upanishad. Exactly the same Upanishad. Saha akamayat. This space-like existence, all-pervasive, this space-like existence which is sun-like in its knowledge, all light, reveals itself, reveals everything, now has a name. Oh, it has a name? Is it I? Yes, it is I from the standpoint of the body, mind, sense complex, pratyagatma. But here in this mantra it has a new name. Saha. This great being. Ishvara. Saha Ishvaraha. Grammatically masculine, but you can say sa also. Even though we say soham, you can also say saham. It's all the same. He is included in she, and she is included in he, because what we are talking about, that entity is beyond gender. There is no gender. When we talk about the creative force, Shakti, we say she. When we talk about that intelligence that pervades the creation, we say he. It's all the same. That's why all the devatas in the Sanatana Dharma are happily married. You'll never see one of them. They always come in pairs. Oh, but what about Dakshinamurti? Half and half. Yes. Half feminine, half masculine. That's already there. Saha akamayata. This being created. Before created, visualized. Before visualized, desired. Oh, Bhagavan also starts to have desires. Who is this Bhagavan? The same consciousness, endowed, as it were, with the ability to create, to sustain, and to resolve. Same consciousness as I, same awareness, same existence, limitless existence, limitless consciousness, all knowledge. So Ishvara also started to have desires. No, it's not Ishvara's desire. It's not some kind of a binding desire, I must make the world. It's long overdue. I must project the world. What am I doing? I'm slacking. I'm no good. I have to project this world. No such pressure. No such desire. Yet without desire, nothing comes. Desire is the precursor to action. Karma pravrittihi kamasyat pravartakatvat. Adi Shankara says this in the Bhashya, in the first portion, the first valli of this Upanishad. Karma pravritti, any kind of a motivation for karma, for action, is desire. Kamaha syat. Why? Pravartakatvat, because it creates a pressure. If Ishvara, if this being, which is the source of the universe, which is the source of I, which is I, has no pressure, is unchanging, it simply is a knowing being, all pervasive, then where is the pressure, where is the desire for creation? That answer can be done on two levels. Level number one, and I will put a caveat before discussing the first answer, that this may not be for everyone, even though it is the truth of Vedanta. Why did Bhagavan create? For that question, we'll have the answer. What creation? No, do you see all these creations? Again, what creation? Where is the creation? If it is not separate from you, can it be called a creation? It's all you. It's you in various names and forms. No, I'm not here yet. You can't dismiss the creation. It pays my bills because I interact with it, and then the paycheck comes and I have to do this and do that. So you better explain why there is this creation. Then the Shastra addresses the same question from the standpoint of the one who is married to the ignorance, to their own self-ignorance, and says something like, well, it is the desire to be embodied, the desire to have a body for all these jivas. Jivas, individuals. What do you mean the desire to have this body by all the jivas? Individuals. Where were these individuals? They were no individuals, it was all Ishvara. But somehow, don't ask how, really, I mean it, somehow, because of self-ignorance, because of rather identifying with self-ignorance, thinking themselves small, there was a disconnection from the whole, so to speak. And the jivas cried, let me out. I want to experience things. I want to learn by myself. I want to do this. I want to do that. And so bodies were created. Karma bhumi, a jagat was created. Because the karmas of all the jivas, the undying karmas, has brought out this world. Again, this answer is a provisional answer. Even though people are nodding in satisfaction, I will be satisfied only when you embrace the first answer. Wholeheartedly. No matter how long it takes, no matter what it takes. Because that is the truth. But still, the Shastra indulges us. Because it knows we can't suddenly go. The person who is married to the self-ignorance cannot be divorced suddenly from the self-ignorance. And even if one is divorced from the self-ignorance, that influence of that self-ignorance is still there in the process of gaining this knowledge. And therefore, a very beautiful example and a beautiful creation cosmology is given here, just to allay that all these questions coming out of being married to one's self-ignorance, being identified with it. The great being desired. Oh, what was the desire? Bahusyam prajayeya, let me be many. I'm everything. I'm the only thing that there is. Let me be many. Let's have fun. Let's have a party. Bhagavan said. Satapotapyata. Then Bhagavan just visualized. Tapas here is not standing on one leg or something. visualizing the previous cycle of the creation, which was again perfect, which was wonderful, recalling the previous cycle of creation, satapotapyata, saptapas taptva, having visualized, idam sarvam asrijata, created everything that is here. Yadidam kincha. Yadidam means whatever is there. Everything was created by Bhagavan alone. And then, if the Upanishad sentence were to stop here, we would be in tremendous trouble. What would be the trouble? Dvaita is staring at the face. Bhagavan, one entity, creation, another entity. This is just like so many theologies of organized religions which say you are separate from Bhagavan. Bhagavan locally not available, having created this world full of sorrows, strife, conflict. They insist it's a he, okay? He repaired to some place called heaven, which is already air conditioned, which doesn't have Arctic blasts, and which is a wonderful place. Leaving you to suffer in this realm. No, this is not what it is. This is not even acceptable. On so many accounts, it's not acceptable to the heart. Because one yearns for non-duality. Even within the Hindu tradition, we have duality. We have dualistic philosophies. So it's not that I'm targeting any particular religion or anything. Even within the Hindu tradition, we have theologies that are very, very dualistic. And so I'm not talking of any particular sect of any particular religion. I'm talking of these kinds of beliefs which run contrary to the yearning of the human being to be connected, to be whole, to be one with everything, to embrace everything. There is a difference. That's why the Upanishad mantra does not stop here, it continues further. Tat srishtva, having created everything, tadeva anupravishat. That Ishvara, that consciousness, the source of all existence, which I recognize as Pratyagatma, which I recognize as I, as it were, entered the entire creation. Take some time to assimilate this. It does. You know why? Because it is a delightful understanding, but it's also radically different from the conditioning that one has received. Even growing up in the Hindu tradition, even with Advaita folk songs, people still go to the temple with a good measure of fear. Oh no, what are you going to do? Who are you? The very concept of worship is Dvaita. That is there. But that Dvaita is again a provisional relationship. That is what makes it different. So this is something which is important to understand. Tat srishtva tadeva anupravishat. Having quote unquote created, this consciousness, this existence, limitless, all-pervasive, entered, as it were, the entire creation. It takes time to assimilate this truth because we see everything happening in time. First he, she visualized. First he, she desired. Then post-desiring, then there is visualization. Then post-visualization, then there is creation. Then post-creation, then there is the entry. What is wrong with this picture? Anybody? The main thing that is wrong is that we are taking time as time to be absolute. T1, visualization, desiring. T2, visualization. T3, creation. T4, entry. Time is not absolute. Time is itself something that is created. Time and space are part of the creation. They are not absolute. They are as relative as the creation itself. So where is this time? No, but the grammar uses it, having done this, then he did this, then she did this. That is because the grammar also has some problems. The grammar also takes time to be absolute, which is absolutely wrong. So therefore we have to read this as a simultaneity of expression. The desiring, the visualization, the quote-unquote creation or the projection or the manifestation and the entry are happening at the same time, Yugapat. Because unlike us, who get exhausted after every task, Bhagavan is limitless. And so everything is happening. The projection and the entry are happening simultaneously, so there is not even a split second where any name and form is devoid of the presence of Bhagavan. Everything is Bhagavan. And this understanding is very, very, very crucial to looking at this mantra. Otherwise, this mantra will not make any sense. Because the whole, what we call the manifest universe, has the presence of Bhagavan in every name, every form. That's why if you go to India, even in some rural place, even the person who you are asking this question, where is God, if you ask the question, the person may not be well educated in Vedanta, may not even know V for Vedanta, may be a rural farmer somewhere, sitting somewhere in a village. Where is God, you ask? What answer will come? Where is God not? Or rather, the answer that will come is, where are you from that you are asking this question? That's what they will wonder. You are a weirdo that you are even asking this question. Something is wrong with you. Where is God not? That's why it's a very sophisticated understanding of Bhagavan. That is why everything is Bhagavan. So I have the privilege to take any one thing and invoke Bhagavan in that object. Invoke that which is all pervasive in a small little stone called Saligrama. Mahavishnu, the all-pervasive being, Bhagavan in the form of Vishnu, is invoked in a small stone that has some spiral markings. This is just an amazing culture. Absolutely amazing culture. You can invoke Bhagavan in the rock. You can invoke Bhagavan in any kind of a phenomena like the weather. I can invoke Bhagavan in the form of trees, sun, mountains. It's all done. Space, time. Space is Bhagavan in Chidambaram. That is the rahasya. That's the mystery of Chidambaram. You go there and you want to see Bhagavan where? All you see is a garland hanging with suspended in some kind of a nylon thread. I suppose this is how you garland space. If space were to be garlanded, this is what it would look like. It's beautiful. This knowledge is just so amazing, so beautiful. Space you garland, and then that's what it is, Chidambaram. That is the beauty, that is the mystery. Not a single thing is devoid of the presence of Bhagavan. You can invoke Bhagavan in a person, such as a guru, a saint, anything. You can invoke Bhagavan in a small child, which is often done during Navaratri, etc. That is the That is the beauty of this culture. That is the beauty of this knowledge, assimilating which one is never alienated. What to talk of having sorrow or fear. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadagya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.